Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the High Performance Trader. I'm your host, Joshua Salvetti, and today we are going to be breaking down some data. See, data is the key for you to become the absolute best version of yourself on the charts. And today in this video, I'm going to explain why. See, I've been trading for over 6 years. In the first 4 years, probably 4.5, I traded based off emotion. I think all traders do. I think we all go on YouTube and other social media accounts and we try to learn, right? And then we become obsessed because we know deep down within ourselves, within this market, there is opportunity. All we have to do is learn to capitalize on it. And then we start to beat ourselves up. We tell ourselves we got to become more disciplined. We tell ourselves we got to become more patient. And yeah, although those things are true, until it logically makes sense for you to make the proper decisions, you're never going to make them. So Josh, how do you become more logical? How do you actually make those decisions on a consistent basis? It's actually quite simple. Ask yourself, what's the chance of you getting in your car and driving on the wrong side of the road today? It's pretty low, isn't it? I mean, logically, it doesn't make sense. If you need to get to work and you're in an extreme rush, are you just going to get in your car and haul ass down the wrong side of the road? Absolutely, maybe for a second to pass somebody, but you're not going to stay on the wrong side of the road. Why? Because it logically doesn't serve you. See, the purpose of data is to reprogram the way you view this game. We need to instill the proper beliefs and understandings and principles so that logically it only makes sense for you to make the appropriate decisions. We got to make it so it no longer makes sense for you to rush. No longer makes sense for you to FOMO into trades or to not respect your stop loss. And that's exactly what data does for you. Data helps you understand the dynamics behind trading, the strategy, and why it is so important to focus on execution. So today we're going to be talking about the second week of April. And before we go any further, guys, the high-level summary that we're going to go over today, I send these out on a weekly basis. So if you are not yet involved with the High Performance Trader Army, go click that first link below, and it's going to take you to my website. Now, my website has a 5-minute document. I call it a 5-minute document because it takes less than 5 minutes to read, right? And when you come over to this page and you scroll down, you will learn our strategy, right? I break this down in deep detail, and I made it in a way so you don't waste any time. You could literally take 5 minutes and understand exactly how to execute our strategy. It's very simple. Identify open print. This is a critical level with excessive volume. Identify the moving average cross, right? This is when the EMA cloud goes from red to green or green to red. And then identify the RBI, GBI entry criteria. This is so important because once again, we need to program you to logically always obey your stop loss. This is how you do it. Because when you enter with this strict criteria, you put your stop loss right below it, right? So you're only ever risking one candle. And on your profitable trades, you're making 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles, right? So this is the document that I have created for you. It's 100% free. And what else is free is the high-level summaries that you could subscribe to right here. And I send these out on a weekly basis, right? So click those links, get involved. And for anybody wanting to make that next step, right? Look at the members right here. These are members that joined HPT this month, right? And they are absolutely killing it. They're not killing it because they got better at predicting the market. They're not killing it because they stumbled across some golden strategy, right? Well, in a way they did because we're sitting at an 82% win ratio. But the real reason why they're killing it is because they've reprogrammed their mind to make decisions based off logic. Now, until it logically makes sense to you, you're not going to make the correct decisions, especially when money's on the line, right? So guys, get involved, punch your email in, your first name, last name, and I will send you these high-level summaries absolutely for free, right? So without further ado, let's break down the second week here in April. All right, so we are going into week number 2, April 2025. In these high-level summaries, I add what I like to call a large data review. So before I was a day trader, I was a data analyst for a 5G telecommunication company, meaning I studied radio frequency day in and day out. See, data is my thing. Data is what I go to when I want the truth. For me to make the correct decisions on a consistent basis, and when I say correct, I'm not talking about always green. I'm talking about for me to execute appropriately, accordingly, when I'm supposed to execute, I need the data to back up my decisions. You will not rise to your goals. You will fall on the strength of your systems. That's the most powerful quote I've ever heard, and it's extremely true. See, until you have a repeatable approach that you can consistently, confidently execute, there's no way you're ever going to retain consistent profitability. So in this large data review, you will see in the last 8 months, we've taken this specific 3-step criteria 132 times. And out of those 132 times, 113 of them have been profitable, landing us at an 85.6 win ratio, right? And here's a beautiful example above. So going into April, we've currently identified in these insanely volatile market conditions, when we got tariffs, we got pauses, we got global markets crashing, right? We got all this insanity going on. Our edge still yielded us a 71% win ratio. We took 7 setups that aligned with this approach, and 2 of them were unprofitable. So let's break down the trades, right? So this was the first trade right here, April 1st. Beautiful. Wow. Why was it so beautiful? Because it's so repeatable. We've all been the trader that made money and then laid in bed at night asking ourselves, am I going to be able to do this again tomorrow? Right? And this is why our edge, our strategy is so important. It has to be simple. See, if it's not simple, how are you ever going to be able to handle sizing up? How are you ever going to be able to make the correct decision when the pressure is on? See, this is why it serves us not just with a win ratio, but also cognitively, right? How many of you stared at the charts for so long, you literally fell asleep when you were done trading, right? You were just mentally exhausted. Once again, we need a strategy that puts some space in between that toxic relationship that we've developed over the years. So this was a beautiful setup right here. Another extremely beautiful setup. We went over most of these in the last week's edition of this. So we're going to break right into Monday's trade. Right? So this was Monday's setup right here. Now let's just break down the criteria one more time so that we can really program your mind to be able to spot it. Market starts to sell off here. Okay, cool. Normal. Josh, why didn't you go short? Because there's no criteria. I need the open print to be identified. I need the moving average cross to take place. And I need the red bar to be ignored. And at that point, I enter the market long. This was a beautiful trade. And notice, we went from pit number to pit number. We went from open print to previous day open print. Beautiful setup, capturing the imbalance in between the open prints, right? Absolutely stunning trade. It literally took less than 4 minutes. Absolute beautiful setup, right? Next, 4/8/2025. So when I look at this trade, we're gapping up significantly. We have end of day, what is this, about $16 away. So price rallies off the EMA cloud here in the morning. We get above the open. So Josh, we got open print. We have no moving average cross. We have no red bar or green bar ignored. Therefore, no trade. Price falls below the open, and then we get our moving average cross. So when I see this, alerts are going off. I'm not FOMOing in. Once again, it's not logical. The data's there. This strategy has an 88% chance of presenting itself. Has an 85% chance of being profitable for at least $1. Therefore, there's no reason for me to rush or FOMO into a setup. If it doesn't present, it's for a reason. I've done studies where if this strategy does not present itself, it's because the market's choppy. Therefore, I don't want to trade. Once again, logically speaking, It only makes sense to wait for my setup. Price falls below the 50 EMA. We get a green bar ignored. We're in the market short. Stop above the previous green bar. Absolute stunning trade. Notice here, we sold off all the way to end of day and further, right? So once again, beautiful setup. And I just really want to highlight here how the EMA cloud was respected on the 5-minute time frame. Guys, all this data is on the 5-minute time frame. Look at how it was respected. Stunning, absolutely mind-blowing. But once again, this is how the market works. This is why moving averages are so important. This is why I every single day trade the market the exact same way. There's no reason to add any monkey wrenches or any other strategy when you have something that is working consistently over the last 8 months. All right, here's a losing trade. This was the date on this, I forgot to update it, is 4/11/2025. So notice here, market opens. We get open print identified. We get our moving average cross, but we get no red bar ignored. Therefore, no trade, right? Patient. We fall down below. We finally get a green bar to be ignored. We enter the market short. Stop above the green bar. We get stomped out. Boo-hoo. Guess how much? Guess what our risk was? 1 candle. That's it. Now, Josh, what happens? Literally, 15 minutes later, price rallies back above end of day, above open print, right? Symbolizing trap selling down there. We get our moving average cross, red bar, ignored, take the market long, follow the EMA cloud all the way up, right? So what can we take from this lesson? Guys, number one, data is key. For us to stop making the decisions that keep us grounded, strapped to inconsistent results, we have to tune our brain from a logical standpoint. We have to mathematically, statistically, and emotionally let go of the old results. We have to believe in the strategy. The only way you're ever going to believe in it is if you study it. And this is why every trader that joins HPT levels up. This is what we do. This is how we make those next steps. Overall, it was a phenomenal week. If you guys watched my trade recaps, it was really good. But one new study that I'm looking at is the 1 hour 9D EMA, right? So I don't got tons of time to go into it, but I'm doing a new study where I want to know how successful these setups are when they're off the 1 hour 9D EMA. So this is something we're going to be probably going over at the end of the month. I'm still collecting more data, and it's going to be a game changer. Guys, I love you. Thank you for the support. High Performance Trader has never grown this fast. We got over 300 subscribers in less than a month. We're really starting to take off, and you know, I truly believe it's because traders are starting to open their eyes. They're starting to look at the data straight in the face and go, listen, this is undeniable, right? The data is undeniable. Regardless about how you feel about me, the strategy, you can't look at this, and you can watch every video I made for each month, right? The data's there. The results are there. The strategy is simple and easy. It's just waiting for you to try it. So guys, click those links below. Get involved. We're running a special on Trader Bootcamp. It's 50% off only for the month of April. Promo code HPT2025. Like, subscribe, share this with someone that needs it. And guys, I'll see you in the next lesson.